I'll just give an example of how this might work. Supposing that we have two partners, and one partner has been working hard, getting some money to pay the bills, and comes back late at night really tired and finds the second partner watching television. No food has been prepared at all. So first person is disappointed, angry, frustrated. One approach would be to use verbal, psychological, or even physical abuse to make the other person do what they want. For example, for God's sake, I've just come in, I've just been earning the money, and here I find you just having a good time, you don't do anything to please me, I want you to get the food, I want food right away. This is an example of, to some extent, verbal abuse and emotional. The strategy is to arouse negative emotions in the other person, which is so unpleasant that they will comply with the instruction, with the desires of the first partner. This is one approach. A second approach, if we use the heart-to-heart communication pattern, offer: observe feelings, express desires, and then make a specific request. Observation: I've come back from work, I'm really tired, I've been taking responsibility, and I'm very hungry, and it's been a hard day, I feel in need of some support. And when I come back, I find that there's no food, there's no preparation, and you're just in your own space. This is a description of what has happened. Feelings: I feel really disappointed and frustrated. In fact, I feel angry. I'm feeling hungry, and I feel disappointed in the whole situation. Then expressing what beliefs I have, what desires I have. My desire is that if I'm going out and putting so much effort, so much time and energy and effort into providing for us, providing for our relationship, I believe that it's reasonable to expect some reciprocation. And in this specific instance, I have a genuine need I need some relaxation, I need some food, and some support as well. That's desires. And then finally a request. So I want to request that when I'm out working late like this, that when I come back, if you could kindly arrange that there'd be at least some simple food ready for when I come in, so that I can sit down and relax a bit and top up on nourishment, and also feel supported and appreciated in what I'm doing. Would you be prepared to do that? So this is an example of using that sequence to express one's thoughts, feelings, desires, and to make a request, and that this will actually lead to, there's a better chance of agreement and cooperation between the parties involved if we make somebody do something that we want them to do. For example, if we use intellectual violence, arguing against them, making them feel foolish for believing what they believe. If we use apposition, you know who I am, you better do what I say. Or physical violence. Or economic, you have to do what I say, otherwise I won't pay for you. Or services, you better do what I say, or I'm not going to cook for you, I'm not going to do all the jobs that I do for you. You'll be lost without me. If we try to force people into complying with our desires, the behavior may change, but the feeling, the relationship will not improve. Whereas if we use this heart-to-heart communication process, it's been shown over and over again that it actually improves the relationship, it improves the cooperation, and both parties are more likely to find a mutually satisfying reconciliation, resolution of a situation. Okay, so here's the exercise. I'd like to move into pairs, and you're going to take it in turns to speak. Each one will speak to the other person in the pair as if you're speaking to a real person in a real situation. So supposing, for example, I was the person who's coming back late at night and finding no food. So I'll be in my pair, and in the other person in the pair, I'm going to speak to them. I'll explain the situation just briefly. I'll speak to them as if I was speaking to the partner in the real situation. Rehearsing it, in other words. So I'll go through the whole presentation, and at the end of the presentation, in your pair, the second person who's been listening will feed back to the first person what was their impression from that presentation. Was it considerate? Was it a clear and honest expression of desires? Was it clear? Was the outcome, the desired outcome, clear? And what was the overall impression? How did they feel being on the end of that? Will give the speaker a clue, a way to understand that what is likely to be the effect and the impression, or the impression and the effect of that kind of presentation when dealing with their partner. And then when you've done it that way around, then you can take it the other way about, and the second person who's been listening, they'll make their presentation to the first person in the same way, and then the first person will give feedback. Okay, so off you go.